Hello, Framilises people. Hope you're doing good today. So, can a wife share her husband with someone else? The answer is never. But in this story, the husband falls in love with his own wife's younger sister. And before getting into the story, know this much: the ending is far more dangerous than you can imagine. The story begins with a girl named Kavita. It is raining heavily outside. She is standing by her window looking at the wet trees and plants outside. The scene then shifts, and we see Kavita sitting alone at a railway station. It looks as if she has left her home. After some time, a train arrives, and the scene changes again. Now we realize that Kavita was only imagining all this while standing there. Just then, one of her friends calls out to her. There is a party going on at Kavita's house where Kavita, her husband Vicky, and their friends are present. Kavita asks her friend to bring chutney. As Kavita starts walking toward the kitchen, Vicky's friends begin looking for him. Someone says that Vicky has gone to the bathroom. One of his friends replies that he probably hasn't gone to the bathroom. He must have gone to do something more important. Kavita overhears this conversation. Actually, Vicky's character is somewhat flawed. He is always attracted to beautiful women, and his friends know this very well. Hearing all this, Kavita feels upset. She then goes into a room where an elderly man is watching a video about trees and plants on TV. Kavita greets him respectfully. When she looks toward the bathroom, she sees Vicky there with another girl. This hurts her even more, but she leaves without saying anything to him. Kavita then brings chutney for her friends. Her friends start gossiping among themselves. One friend says that if you are beautiful, life automatically becomes Instagram. Wake up and you get likes. Apply lipstick and you get likes. Even if you do nothing, your followers keep increasing. Hearing this, Kavita says, "So you think a girl's beauty is her biggest quality?" One friend replies, "Vicky will answer that." They call Vicky over and ask him whether it is necessary for a woman to be beautiful. As Vicky arrives, he looks at the body of a girl sitting in front of him. Kavita notices this. Vicky says that even if a woman is not beautiful, it doesn't really matter. The friends start whispering among themselves. Then, Kavita begins narrating a story. She says there was a girl named Smita in a place called Fursit Nagar. Smita lived in her maternal home with her husband. Like many girls, she was told from childhood that getting married and settling down was the only goal in life. Her world was very small, and her dreams were simple. She had grown up among trees and plants, which is why she didn't understand much about the practical world. For her, her husband, her home, her family, and her plants were everything. She loved planting trees. At this point, Kavita reveals that this story is actually her own story, but she refers to herself as Smita. The story goes into a flashback. We see Smita planting trees with the gardener of her house. She is very fond of gardening. The gardener has been working in her house for many years. Meanwhile, Pankaj is about to leave for office. Smita runs to give him his lunchbox. Pankaj leaves for work. Smita lives with Pankaj in her maternal home in Fursit Nagar. Her father is no longer alive. We then see a police officer named Ratan who fills a bucket of water from a tap and brings it home. He tells his father to install a water motor. His father replies, "When you become a senior police officer, install one yourself." Ratan is a local police officer in Fursit Nagar. While Smita is cooking, her aunt calls and informs her that Smita's sister Shalini has gotten a job in Fursit Nagar and asks if Shalini can stay at Smita's house. Smita becomes very happy and agrees immediately. She then goes to prepare a room for Shalini. Before going to work, Ratan meets a local gangster named Gajendra, whose office is near Smita's house. Ratan parks his bike in front, accidentally crushing one of the gardener's plants. The gardener fixes the plant. Gajendra offers Ratan tea made from aparajita flowers. Gajendra's son, Montu, is sitting nearby. Ratan asks if the goods have arrived. Gajendra asks Montu to put on his headphones. Montu does so, but secretly disconnects them, allowing him to hear everything. Neither Gajendra nor Ratan notices. Ratan says the goods have arrived, but asks what happened to the body. Gajendra replies that he will mix it with the soil. Gajendra is a powerful gangster, and Ratan has worked with him many times. In return, Gajendra gives Ratan an envelope full of cash. Ratan gives Montu a police badge and says, "You wanted a police badge, right? Here you go." After Ratan leaves, Gajendra tells Montu that it's better to make the police your servants than to become one. That night, we see Pankaj gambling in a bar. A man brings him to Gajendra. Pankaj owes Gajendra 2,755,000 rupees. Gajendra demands the money, but Pankaj doesn't have it. He says he owns a house in Moradabad. Gajendra says the house is far and asks how the money will come without selling it. He suggests Pankaj sell the house to him. Before anything is decided, Gajendra gets a call and signals Pankaj to leave. At home, Smita is calculating expenses when Pankaj comes home drunk. He insults her, brings up her deceased father, and pressures her to sell the Moradabad house. Smita refuses, saying it is her father's last memory. Pankaj gets angry. Later, Smita tells Pankaj that Shalini will be coming to stay with them. Though irritated, Pankaj agrees. Smita cleans the upstairs room where her old certificates and trophies are kept. The next day, Pankaj reluctantly goes to the railway station to pick up Shalini. Seeing her, he feels instantly attracted. Smita is also very happy to see her sister. That night, Pankaj keeps staring at Shalini during dinner. Gradually, Pankaj grows closer to Shalini. At the same time, Ratan also starts spending time with her. Shalini secretly maintains relationships with both men. She spends time outside with Ratan and goes out with Pankaj after returning home. Smita remains unaware of everything. One day, Smita returns from the market and hears noises coming from Shalini's room. She goes there and sees Pankaj and Shalini getting close. Shocked, she runs outside and cries while hugging a tree. She never confronts Pankaj. On Smita and Pankaj's wedding anniversary, Pankaj ignores Smita and feeds cake to Shalini in front of everyone. Smita silently watches. That night, Shalini sends Pankaj an explicit photo after cutting her mother's call.
Pankaj secretly went towards Shalini's room, which Smita noticed. Smita called out from behind and asked, "Do you need something?" Pankaj made an excuse, saying that he had come to get water. Realizing that Smita was awake, Shalini closed her door and Pankaj had no choice but to go back. Lying next to Pankaj, Smita suggested that Shalini should be shifted to an empty room near her office. Pankaj replied carelessly, "She is your sister, do whatever you want." Hearing this hurt Smita deeply. The next day, Shalini gave Smita a yellow sari, but Smita ignored her because of Shalini's illicit relationship. Just then, Pankaj received a call from Gajendra and went upstairs to talk. In the present, Smita, meaning Kavita, reveals that Gajendra had tempted Pankaj by offering to buy the Moradabad house and forgive the debt, and Pankaj had agreed to it immediately. But in the flashback, when Pankaj told Smita about this, she refused. Angrily, Pankaj left the place. Shalini came and tried to convince Smita, but Smita ignored her. Pankaj drank alcohol at home and in a drunken state went out to meet Gajendra, which the gardener noticed. The next day, the gardener told Smita how her father had protected the land and said that trees and plants are the only loyal ones. He warned Smita that her own people would become the cause of her trouble and said that this is the rule of nature. Either you eat or you become someone else's food. Smita served food to Pankaj. Pankaj told her that he was going to Bareilly and that at 6:30 in the evening, Mathur's men would come to collect the money. He asked Smita to receive them. Smita said nothing and prepared a tiffin for Shalini. Shalini also left for office. Since the maid was with her daughter, Smita happily gave her some money. Later, when Shalini returned from office, she complained of stomach pain and went into her room to call Pankaj, but his phone was switched off. Smita gave Shalini milk and a banana and told her that she was going to her friend's daughter's birthday party. She asked Shalini to come along, but Shalini said, "I am sick, how can I go?" Smita replied, "I have made lentils and the vegetables still need to be cut." Shalini said, "I am here, I'll do everything." Smita said, "Okay, I'll cook the vegetables after I return." Smita informed Shalini that one of Pankaj's men would come at 6:30. Shalini replied, "Where else would I go? You go and enjoy." After that, Smita left. As Smita stepped out of the house, Pankaj called her and asked where she was. Smita lied and said, "I'm at home." After that, Smita reached the birthday party. Then we see Ratan, who is sitting with his senior officer. The officer's sister was getting married, so he invited Ratan to the wedding. While they were talking about the wedding, the senior officer received a call. There had been 2 murders in the same house at the same time. The officer immediately took Ratan along to the crime scene. There we see the bodies of Pankaj and Shalini lying inside the house. Smita was not at home at that time. The question was, who entered the house and killed both of them? The police first sent the dead bodies for post-mortem and then thoroughly searched the house. At first glance, the police assumed that a thief might have entered the house and killed them. Ratan got Smita to sign a copy of the FIR and then returned to the police station. Sitting there, Ratan carefully examined Shalini's earrings that had been brought as evidence. The senior officer noticed this and asked, "Do you know this girl?" Ratan replied, "I had just started knowing her. She ended before I could know her." The senior officer handed over the entire responsibility of the case to Ratan and went on leave for his sister's wedding. Ratan assured him that he would handle the case. Ratan then began investigating in his own way. First, he went to Gajendra and asked, "You must have heard about the double murder in Geeta Colony?" Gajendra replied, "Why are you telling me all this?" Ratan said, "Nothing, just saying. I'm worried for you. So many murders and on top of that, pressure from seniors. You had a debt of 27,55,000 rupees from Pankaj, so I'm worried that suspicion might fall on you once the investigation begins." Gajendra asked, "And who would suspect me?" Ratan remained silent. Gajendra then said that he was not worried about Pankaj's money. Pankaj had promised to return it on time. Not only that, Pankaj had also asked Gajendra to get Smita killed. On Pankaj's instructions, Gajendra's men went to kill Smita, but by mistake they killed Shalini. Ratan was shocked and asked, "Then who killed Pankaj?" Gajendra replied, "How would I know? Now I'm worried myself. Pankaj is dead. Who will return my money?" Gajendra then proposed a deal. If Ratan could somehow manage the documents of Smita's Muradabad house, he would pay him a large sum of money. Ratan then tried to officially close the murder case so that he could handle it personally and get the property papers from Smita. After that, Ratan went to Poonam's house and asked if there were any photos from the birthday party. Poonam said the photographer still had them. Ratan asked her to send the photos as soon as she received them. Ratan met Smita and said, "Your husband had a debt of 27,55,000 rupees, maybe even more. How will you repay it? There will also be court matters. How will you manage everything? I suggest you sell your Muradabad house." Smita refused. Ratan tried to persuade her, but she ignored him. Disappointed, Ratan returned home. The next day, Ratan received the party photos. He examined Smita's photos carefully and noticed some irregularities. He restarted the investigation, questioned people who were present at the party, and then went straight to Smita's house. When Smita opened the door, Ratan said, "I have rarely seen someone as clever and deceptive as you. Now I will tell you the story of your cleverness." According to Ratan, on the night before the murder, Smita had blocked both Pankaj and Shalini's numbers on each other's phones so they couldn't contact one another. The next morning, Smita cooked food separately for Shalini and mixed something in it. The post-mortem report confirmed that abnormal substances were found in Shalini's food. Smita had intentionally mixed something that caused food poisoning, so Shalini returned early from office. Smita's plan worked. Shalini came home early and kept going to the bathroom repeatedly. Leaving Shalini at home, Smita went to the party. After staying there for some time, Smita returned home briefly and saw Shalini's blood-soaked body lying there. At that very moment, Pankaj also arrived home. According to the post-mortem report, Shalini had died 1 hour before Pankaj. Pankaj didn't die only from a sharp weapon. He first suffered a heart attack and after that, someone stabbed him. Ratan said he still can't determine who stabbed Pankaj, but according to his investigation, Smita unblocked both phone numbers again, wiped her fingerprints from the phones and returned to the party. Ratan praised her intelligence and said that no one noticed when she left or returned. However, he had party photos showing Smita in 2 different saris of the same color but with different borders. In a flashback, we see that Smita's sari got stained with blood that night, so she washed it and returned to the party wearing another sari of the same color. Back in the present, Ratan said even if Smita argued in court that the photos were not clear, mobile tower records would prove her movements. He said she couldn't escape jail. Then he offered her a deal: transfer the Muradabad house to his name and he would personally close the case. He gave her 4 days and warned her not to try any tricks. Smita became worried and finally began preparing the property papers in Ratan's name. When she went to court, Ratan followed her. Before handing over the house, Smita dismissed all the servants. Only she and the gardener remained. On the day of the handover, Ratan arrived at Smita's house after taking money from Gajendra. Smita offered him tea. Ratan refused, suspecting poison. Smita silently pointed towards the documents. Ratan checked the papers, turning pages and repeatedly touching his face. After finishing, he said everything was fine, but asked 2 questions. How did Smita find out that Pankaj planned to kill her with Gajendra, and how did she kill Pankaj? Before she could answer, Ratan suddenly started behaving strangely and became completely paralyzed. Smita had applied a paste made from poisonous leaves on the documents, which entered his body when Ratan touched his face while turning the pages. Though paralyzed, Ratan could still understand everything but couldn't speak. Smita burnt the house papers and the gardener packed Ratan into a sack and threw him in the river. Before leaving, the gardener told Smita that they would meet again if time allowed. After everything ended, Smita left the house and moved to the city, taking on a new identity. Her new name was Kavita. In the present, Kavita's friends ask how Pankaj died. She explains that when Pankaj had a heart attack, he tried to take his medicine, but she had removed it. Then she killed him with a sharp knife. Her friends ask more questions, but she ignores them and leaves. While leaving, she sees Ratan's senior officer and escapes without being noticed. Later, the gardener visits Smita and gives her a small plant, saying that times have changed. Smita breaks down in tears. Months later, we see that Ratan is still alive but paralyzed, undergoing treatment in the hospital. He understands everything but cannot speak. His senior officer visits him, but Ratan cannot explain anything. His life continues like this and the story ends here. If you like the video, let us know in the comments. Like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video. Take care.